I'm trying to conquer my eating disorder.
There's a lot of idiots per capita.
Fuck, I smuggled.
Look at me, I'm so muscular.
There's the door. Don't let it hit you where the good Lord splits you.
I could have a six-pack if I wanted, but I'm like, Bond, tactical soap, that's my jam.
Radio Free Smith 57, everybody. That was my Tommy impersonation as an intro there. So, sorry to say it, this is going to be probably the last Sigh episode. Hopefully it won't turn out too long. Hopefully you're not sick of Sigh. I certainly am not, because they're, like I said, probably my favorite band right now. So anyways, we are getting to the best Sigh album. Pretty much, hands down, most people agree on this, or at least most people with brains think that Imaginary Sonicscape is the best Sigh album. They went full bore with like the heavy metal and the harmonies and the weird evil digressions into other genres and tons of crazy riffs. This album has so many good riffs. I don't even know where to start with it. So let's start with the first song. Alright, so we have crazy scale-based riffs out of nowhere. Somebody's probably just going to say, oh, those are just scales, blah, blah, blah. Whatever, they said the same shit about Mozart. Fuck you. Amazing 70s keyboards that link up very well with the very complex guitar harmonies we have going on. Like I said, very obvious 80s heavy metal influences, but done in a substantially more extreme way because they're a fucking black metal band, bro! Also, pay attention to how he layers the vocals and works them into the music instead of just kind of singing over it. It reminds me a bit of Sabbath, not the Japanese Sabbath, but the UK one with Martin Valkyrie before he formed Skyclad. That Sabbath was a big influence on Sigh. I mean, I'm sure the other one was too because they're friends. They're both the progenitors of the Japanese black metal scene, but you know how it is. Blech. Fucking good stuff. So yeah, we have sick, crazy, heavy metal type shenanigans going on. But it's Sigh, so that means we have super kawaii, wacky, happy moments, like this one. So those harmonies are back, but instead of being very aggressive, in this case they're kind of laid back, which makes sense because instead of being called Corpse Cry Angel Fall, like that earlier song, this one's just called a sunset song. And it's like summertime black metal, I guess. I don't know. I listened to this song a lot this summer. Have for years, probably going on over a decade. And there's some wacky genre splicing. I feel like a David Bowie album at best, or maybe just Bee Gees or something. I don't know. I like it though. Because the way I had this album described to me by a review once was, you know, there's a lot of types of music I'm annoyed by, but this one does all of the annoying types of music, but it does them really quickly and like runs them into each other, so it's funny instead of shitty. And that's kind of what that was. I laughed, and it's good to laugh as we go back into those more sunsetty riffs. But don't, just because they're, you know, this is light and shade, just because there's a lot of light on this album doesn't mean it doesn't go to some very dark and frankly disturbing places, such as on the track aptly titled Voices. So we got some kind of weird trip hop with a speak and spell, because you wouldn't be a Kraftwerk influenced band if you didn't use a speak and spell at some point. And now we get into some exceptionally dark and spooky electronic type shit. This part coming up gives me chills every time. How fucking goth is that? That weird 80s drum machine. I think it's the same one that Godflesh used on Street Cleaner. But if it isn't, I'm sure Shitdog will correct me. But yeah, that's Imaginary Sonicscape. I don't even want to play you any more samples because that album is so good. You just need to listen to it and discover for yourself. Like, top 10 Jub album, that one. Really good stuff. So what happened to Sigh after that? Well, they did another album that I've talked about earlier on called Gallows Gallery, which you need to be careful with, because when it initially came out, they were like, we used Secret Unit 731 technology to make it, like, hurt your ears. It's designed to make you want to kill yourself. And then years later, when they put out a remastered version, they said, actually, we were just kidding about that. The producer fucked up so badly that we thought it would be funny to say that as a joke. Peste Noire did a similar type of little shenaniganery with their second album, where it got produced so badly that they said, oh, we were trying to we were making it so you can only listen to this album if you're mentally ill. But then, like, years later, it gets remastered, and they're like, yeah, sorry, guys, that album sounded like shit, our bad. But the remastered version of Gallows Gallery, really fucking good. Like I said, it's a weird, almost kind of power metal album. It still uses very black metal percussion with lots of blast beats and shit, and it's at an exceptionally frantic pace, and there's saxophones and 70s keyboards and such, but the vocals are all mostly clean, and there's very catchy choruses. Let's have a listen to that! So, fairly well done, clean vocals. They might annoy some people, but I kind of like them. Especially with the layering going on. And that's the good shit. Look at this fucking speed metal riff. These weird Japanese vocals over it. So yeah, good album. Go and get it. One of the better Sigh albums. Not as good as Imaginary Sonicscape or Scenario 4, but still up there pretty high. After that, we get to a very critically acclaimed Sigh album called Hangman's Hymn. You know, we got Gallows Gallery, now we have Hangman's Hymn. People have a massive boner for this fucking album, but it's the one that actually made me fall off the Sigh train for years, because, well, you'll find out why. This doesn't sound so bad. It seems like they're doing more of a black thrash thing here. A little bit of Destruction, a little bit of early Creator.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
So yeah, if that wasn't some of the most stupid, annoying shit you've ever heard, I don't know what the hell's wrong with your ears, and I don't know what the hell is wrong with the ears of the average Sigh fan, because they fucking love this album, and it sucks ass. Like, when people talk about Sigh being stupid circus music, that's what they should actually be talking about, is shit like that. That album was full of it. The album after it was full of it. 2 bad albums in a row. Sorry, bye-bye, I'm done. And I was done with Sigh for years. I didn't listen to any of their new stuff. They broke my fucking heart. But come last year, they put out a new album, and it had a really cool cover. They were going way more heavy on the Japanese aesthetics, and it intrigued me. So I decided to give one of my childhood favorite bands another chance, and I was pleasantly surprised. So right away you can tell the guitar tone is a lot better. It isn't mastered like a fucking brick wall. And there's some interesting layering going on with flute and keyboards and guitars. As we get into some very strange technical thrash metal with odd Japanese vocals over it. So, in the ordering of my Sigh albums, I'm not exactly sure where to put this one yet, but I have been enjoying it quite a bit so far, and I recommend you check it out if you like black metal and thrash metal. That's kind of interesting, I guess. Well, that's about it. Next week, we're probably going to do something a bit more Nordic, even though I still am trans-Japanese, so don't forget that, and I'll see you guys around, I guess.
本日もご視聴ありがとうございました。この動画が良かったらグッドボタンとチャンネル登録ぜひぜひお願いします。バイバーイ。